Hey, this is Russell, and I work at the video store, the place that you can go to every week when it's movie night. On days like today, we have our interesting customers pop in to rent something. We talk about the exciting things that they have going on in their lives, and we're always keen to hear what films that they've loved across their life. All right, let's do it. Let's open up the shop.
Did you see that thing yesterday on the TV? It was ready, interesting!
How's it?
Hey, Russ.
How you guys?
Good, bro.
Yeah, very good. How are you?
Very good.
Yeah.
Perrin is very good.
Nice.
Welcome to the video store.
Yeah.
Thank you for wandering in to what is now a slightly more sunnier day
Yeah.
here in Joburg. We've got ourselves a Graham.
Hello.
G-Force Hackney,
Hi, hi.
who is an editor and the producer of this show.
Mm-hmm.
We've got ourselves a Perrin P-Dog Fish,
Hello.
who is a master of all trades.
Yeah.
And
Like to think so.
someone who's watched more movies than all of us combined.
Yes.
And my name is Russell. I am the owner of the Bioscope, which is a cinema here in Johannesburg. And we take a moment out of our busy lives to work behind the counter here at our video store to, keep you guys in the loop of like what's happening.
Yeah.
We've got a lovely episode today. We've got lots to talk about. We are like a week away from the Oscars.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we are.
Yeah. So one thing I want to do is kind of lock in our final picks.
Right.
I want to talk about movies like The Bride,
Okay.
which has now come out, and so I feel like we can talk about it.
Cool.
But most importantly, we've got a special guest that's going to pop in.
Nice.
This is someone who we've actually wanted to get on for a while, so I'm glad we finally made it work. Kudi Maradzika
Cool.
Awesome.
is coming, and she is the creator of Bad Influencer, which
Amazing.
is this local show on Netflix that
Yes.
kind of took the world by storm.
Mm.
And I find it, this is what is really incredible, and I'd actually want to get into this with her, is the power of when a local film transcends South Africa and
Yeah.
South Africa's audience, and what that actually means and what that's
Great.
all about.
Jeez.
I love, in general, just talking about the industry and how all these different jobs exist.
Yes.
And so, we've never really had a creator
Right.
on the show, like a show creator.
Mm.
Yeah, it's
How-
a big deal.
It's one thing to direct, it's one
Yes.
thing to kind of produce, but it's like, how do you create this thing?
Mm.
What does that mean? How do you actually get that done?
Yeah, showrunner, what does that entail?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the showrunner. Hey, yeah, that's the sort of other word for it. And I think for anyone who is listening for the first time and Kudi,
Mm.
welcome, and I hope you get to make some friends here today,
Yeah.
which is
Amazing.
us talking about the last week in film and entertainment,
Yes.
which will never cease to amaze me. Is always a chock-a-block full amount of detail
Yeah.
and events and happenings. So we're going to get into that now
Yeah.
with a little round of Hey, did you guys see?
Mm.
Then Kudi will pop in.
Nice.
And then stick around for after the chat where myself, Graham, and Perrin will continue to have a little huck. All right.
Nice.
One thing to mention is that today's shift
Yeah.
is brought to you by Sony.
Ooh.
Sony Pictures, and specifically Project Hail Mary,
Very nice.
which is coming to cinemas around the world, and including South Africa and including the Bioscope on the 20th of March. They have given us a special hamper to give away.
cool.
This is a copy of the book. The book written by the same guy who wrote The Martian,
Yes.
Great book.
Andy Weir.
Andy Weir.
Really great book.
It's a great book that all three of us have read.
Yeah.
So all three of us have been so excited about the coming of this film,
Yeah.
which is directed by Lord and Miller,
Yep.
who are the creative geniuses behind films like the Spider-Verse films. And
Such a good fit, eh?
it's great.
Perfect fit.
And so it's all very exciting. Early reports are calling it a masterpiece.
Nice.
I've been lucky enough to see it, and I can confirm this. So it's all very exciting. The hamper that we're giving away is a copy of the book and 1,000 Rand Converse voucher.
Oh, sick.
Which is very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to enter?
You can't. But over on our Instagram page, which is thevideostorepod, you can see the post also on the Bioscope's Instagram page, and you can enter. I think we've created a nice little way to enter, which is you're on a space mission and you have to leave and you have to pack. Apart from your Converse, what else would you pack on your space mission? And so it's cool. It's a little bit of a desert island disky kind of sentiment, which is what would you take to your desert island?
Yes.
And in this case, it's not a desert island. It is a spaceship in the middle of fucking nowhere.
What would you take?
That's a good point. I haven't thought about that.
That's tough.
If it was an island, I would have said Flint, and
Yeah,
that's not going to work in space.
No, I think some kind of musical instrument.
Okay.
Perhaps not a drum kit.
Yeah.
I think because I'm a drummer more than kind of anything else, but I
Yeah.
think that would be a bit much.
The correct answer is a picture of your daughter, Russell.
Of course, my little Emmy. Oh, my. Let me tell you what fatherhood's like after a month.
Yeah.
You life happens, and you sort of have to do your life.
Yes.
But every now and again, something just like tugs, and it's sort of figuratively her.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
On your heartstring, where you're like in traffic and you're like, I'm going home to my daughter. Or it's like, I have a daughter now.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It's wild. Where, on the other hand, my lovely wife Leslie is like constantly reminded that she has a daughter because she
Yes.
has to constantly look after her.
Shame,
yeah.
yeah.
And she's doing such a great job, but she had to like leave her for a little bit for the first time ever.
Oh.
Oh,
She's
was
like-
that,
and she
like,
reminded me, she's like,
terrifying?
I have been by her side every hour for a month.
Yeah.
So it's like just the thought of going 2 hours away.
Yes.
Anyways.
Moms don't get enough credit, eh? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
She's doing such a great job. And it's
Nice.
so lovely.
Good for her, man. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
We
you.
love
Thank
it. We
you.
love to see you happy, Russell.
Thank you, man. Tired, but happy. All right. Should we do this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Little round of Hey Did You Guys See?
Let's do it.
Okay. Hey Did You Guys See? Joseph Krasinski is on the cusp of rebooting Miami Vice
Oh,
yes,
cool.
I did see that.
with Michael B. Jordan.
yeah.
That's a very
And
good
Austin
casting.
Butler.
and
That's
Austin
amazing
Butler.
Yeah.
casting. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
So Michael B. Jordan is going
So
to
it'd
play
be Tubbs and
Ricardo
yeah.
Tubbs, and Austin Butler is going to be Sonny. I don't really know Miami Vice at all, but I can imagine the
That's
story
fucking
is
great.
timeless,
Yeah.
which is flashy cars and cocaine.
I kind of I'm hoping they set it in the 80s.
I was gonna
'cause
say, because-
it's quintessentially an 80s show.
Because
Like,
Michael Mann's one was contemporary.
Yeah, that was fine.
Yeah.
But like the 80s vibe just it's
I think Miami in
the
the
big white
80s would be
suits.
better.
Yeah, big white suits, pastel
Like
pastel
shoulder
colours.
pads.
Yeah.
Yes, the white suits, the pink shirts, the light blue polo necks. Oh,
Yeah.
So what I love is in an episode ages and ages ago, we were like, oh, apparently there's going to be a movie made by Paul Thomas Anderson called One Battle After Another. And we were all like, oh, that sounds cool. And then we didn't think about it until it's
Yeah.
become the biggest movie of the year and will hopefully win a bunch of Oscars.
Yeah.
So I just find it lovely that we planted this little seed now,
Right.
but in a year or so's time, like,
Yeah.
this is going to be one of the biggest movies.
Yeah. I mean, look, like I'm hoping it'll be big because Michael Mann's Miami Vice was a flop. Even though it had, at that point, Colin Farrell was like one of the biggest stars on the planet,
Yeah.
same as Jamie Foxx. But it was just very much not what the trailer promised. 'Cause it's a very
Interesting,
slow
yeah.
build. It's very much more in the same manner as Heat,
Yeah.
where it's that slow build stuff. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the film, but I loved what he was trying to do with it. But yeah, I'm excited to see what John Krasinski does with it. That'd be very cool. Joseph, sorry.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Hey, did you guys see that Showmax is shutting down?
I know.
That's the big one,
That's
eh?
wild, dude.
I don't quite know what that means. Because Canal Plus,
Yes.
who bought them
Yeah.
and have tried desperately to save the ship, or do their own
Yeah.
fucking up. I can't really tell
Yeah.
from this vantage point. They're like, we are still committed to streaming,
Yeah.
but Showmax is dead.
So that app is dying. Canal Plus has their own streaming
Okay.
app.
So something
Called,
will
I think it's
replace
called My Canal or something like that.
Yeah.
So in theory, that is already available in some places in Africa.
it. Okay.
So
Look-
that will become available, and it's
Yeah.
also an app that I assume this functionality will be available. You can integrate your other streaming apps into it. So
Oh,
you
that's
can watch
interesting.
Netflix through their app. Or
Oh, it's
Disney
almost like a
Plus through their
Fire
app.
Stick kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I'll
So
tell you
in
what
theory,
is
you can
Yeah.
watch everything
That-
through that one app.
that out of all the apps,
Yeah.
the DSTV streaming app
I never use it.
by far is the worst.
I mean, of course it is.
I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that it could have just been that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
That could have been the thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know one of the reasons, because I briefly skimmed through the article about why they're shutting it down.
Yeah.
Apparently, NBC are like co-owners of Showmax. They own
I
like
think they own like 30%.
yes, yeah, and apparently they pumped like up to like 300 million into it.
Yeah.
And apparently the guys who run Showmax, their promises didn't reach
Yeah.
what they promised to the shareholders. So basically, it was hemorrhaging money.
It made a
according to-
4.9 billion rand loss.
That's insane. So like
Billion.
naturally, Canal Plus are going to be like, cool.
Yeah.
Clearly, this isn't working. We're going to scrap it.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, and maybe
unfortunate.
in business sometimes the easiest way to do it is to close that entity
Yeah.
in all its shape and
And-
form, so
and
that you can restart something.
Shame.
new.
I feel bad for Showmax as well, because they were making an effort to legitimately compete with the Netflixes and the Primes and stuff by making deals with HBO and
Sure.
NBC, and because they were getting like filtering through HBO Max some of their content and Peacock as well, which is
But it-
NBC's streaming service.
It had the most local stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why people are upset, because they feel like it's worrying that it's going to means less work for local
Yes.
creators and
Yeah.
industry. You know?
Yeah. Time will
Anyways.
tell.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, did you guys see that Tarantino is looking at directing a play on the West End in the next 2 to 3 years?
Huh.
So it's going to
Okay.
be in the vein of a British farce, which is... I'm already rolling my eyes at Tarantino talking about this. Basically, a farce would be like very slapsticky,
Yeah.
physical comedy kind of vibe.
Which
look,
isn't his wheelhouse.
it isn't, but I mean, look, as much as I complain about Tarantino, all like good for him for trying something different. You
Yeah.
know?
What he could have done is just put the Hateful Eight on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That movie
It's like a
plays
play.
out like a play. You're
Yeah.
in one location. You
it's
could
like
very
the thing
easily
in a cabin. Yeah.
Yeah.
have adapted it. It would actually make the most amazing play.
Didn't
Yeah.
they do it as a play at some point when
probably
before
did.
before he made it as a movie, the script leaked, so he's going to cancel it.
Oh, he was probably going to do it as
And
a
I
play.
think
then.
they did it as like a one-off like performance, and then still wound up making the movie.
I
in spite
wouldn't
of
be
it.
surprised if
I
that's the
might be
case,
wrong
yeah.
about that, but
Interesting.
Yeah.
That
look
will
into
always
it.
be the movie I watched in 2 parts because I fought a guy in the cinema.
Really?
Yeah.
You got a good delve on that.
I remember this. You have
Yeah.
told this story.
Okay,
before.
never mind. I'll go back.
Yeah, no. I have told it on the show, but halfway through the screening of The Hateful Eight, some drunk dude came in looking for his wallet that he'd left in. He insulted my girlfriend at the time.
Jeez, like-
I went out with another dude and sort of removed him from the cinema relatively passively.
Yeah.
We got into an altercation when I started telling the manager of Stir Kinnickle, I was like, please ruin his night because he's ruined mine. Like,
Yes.
do you have like
Yeah.
a holding cell in the
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the shopping center? Like,
Do you have a dungeon?
just like do something to ruin his night.
Yeah.
Like don't hurt him, but just ruin his night.
Yeah.
And then he punched me
All
Oh,
in the lip, and when that happened, the other dude sort of grabbed him, which also involved
Face.
a sort of a palm to the face.
All right.
Yeah.
And so he had quite a lot of blood. It was
It's rugby
hectic.
fighting.
It
Like
was hectic, yeah.
whenever you see fist fights in rugby, it's always like the most lame fucking looking fighting. Like palms are squishing faces.
Yes,
and
yeah,
like,
it was that kind of
like
fight.
no one can quite land a punch.
But
you
there
know?
was this point, funny enough, there was this point where we kind of pulled him out of the cinema.
Yeah.
And once we left the actual cinema room, me and this other dude, because this guy was drunk,
Yeah.
he actually like fell, quite like flopsy body.
Yes.
And, the floor's tiled. And so like immediately I had this like warning bell going like,
Yeah.
you got to be so careful how
Yeah.
you fight someone. Because if they fall back and hit their head,
yeah,
Yeah.
brain damage, permanent brain damage.
I mean, you
yeah.
could die.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh God. Anyways.
Good lord.
So yeah, that one. Speaking of streamers
Yeah.
and what streamers are doing, we went into great detail recently about how Netflix is no longer the main buyer of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
they did something really interesting recently, which is, hey, did you guys see? They bought Interpositive,
What is that?
which is Ben Affleck's AI company.
God.
Yeah.
No, but hey, you rolling your eyes. It's not the AI company you think it is.
Okay. What is it?
It's not this prompt to replace filmmakers. It's Ben Affleck going, I see this thing coming that is inevitable, AI. What can we use it for that can help us?
Right.
So it's a
tool.
It's a filmmaking tool, apparently,
Okay.
that helps more in post-production, helps fill in the gaps, helps
Okay.
with VFX.
Right.
It's an interesting one.
Okay.
But-
I prefer that than
Totally.
it
It's not a
replacing
let's
freaking creatives.
make movies from prompts.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting because you've got something like Adobe that can like fill in the gaps of
Yeah.
your
Well, I mean,
design, and you've got
Yeah.
and also this is something to just quickly touch on. When you look at VFX, something like water or like
Yes. yeah.
a hairy monster, you kind of do use visual effects to kind of prompt, and it kind of creates it, right?
I mean, it's
I'm
a
speaking
simulation.
very-
It simulates it.
It simulates
Yeah,
it.
it's
So
hella complicated.
hell of a complicated, but that is in the vein of AI, right? It's like down the path of how
Not
AI
really.
learning-
I
but
see
AI
where I
learning
can see
can-
what you're saying, but they're not really related. But I see where you're going.
yeah. To me, it feels like it's in.
You're comparing like algorithm to simulation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I'm showing your editing software as well. I mean, there's AI tools in there now, but
Yeah.
that's to like clean up audio.
Yeah.
And stuff like
DaVinci
that.
has a lot of AI audio
Yeah, so
stuff.
I often, if I'm editing stuff and it's fucking noisy,
Yeah.
you don't use it to like, because you get a scale from 0 to 100 for the AI, like the audio
Yeah.
cleanup tool. I never use 100 because then it
No.
sounds odd. I usually use like 20% or
What is
10%.
it? What does it sound? What does odd mean?
So it like, say for instance, we're talking in a kind of a ambient-y, noisy area. If you put it to 100, it's going to get rid of a lot of frequencies where your voice doesn't sound quite natural.
Okay, so
so
you-
like if you laugh, it's sometimes not going to recognize that that's laughter. It's going to recognize that it's background noise.
Yeah.
So like
It'll
you'll
take
be like,
out that.
but it'll be like, it'll be like odd. You know what I mean?
Okay. Interesting. That's
Yeah.
nice to understand.
But their noise isolation is very good.
It's very good.
DaVinci's
It's
noise
saved my
isolation is-
ass so
yeah.
many times.
Same.
And I also use the thing where I say, because I shoot at a lot of music events as well.
Yes.
There's times where there's background music that I want to kind of dim a bit. I can get rid of literally drums, bass, everything by just like sliding it, and it's
Yeah.
a fucking lifesaver.
Okay.
'Cause It
So-
saves you hours of.
So yeah, so
Time.
Interpositive is that.
Yeah.
You know, long ago, Sam, our one coworker, was on the show, and she also spoke about like that clean AI that some filmmakers are using. You know, so it's interesting to see the good guys using the weapons
Yeah.
in some way. So maybe this is that. I think it's interesting that a guy like Ben Affleck is behind this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
As long as it's used as a tool rather than a literal creative decider, you know what I mean? Where like, cool, AI is going to decide who dies in the script, you know,
Yeah.
or AI is going to decide which shot we should take. It should still be fucking, yeah. But,
interesting. Hey?
Yeah.
yeah. Very interesting, yeah.
Hey, did you guys see the trailer for Lanterns?
I did.
No, what is
It
this?
looks interesting. It's a new DC series.
Yeah.
So DC under James Gunn. This is their Green Lanterns TV series.
Yeah.
And from the get-go, they were talking about it like it's not going to be a big, flashy VFX thing. They were saying their main source of inspiration was stuff like True Detective.
Oh,
Well,
And that's very much coming through in that trailer.
I mean, so the creator of that is Damon Lindelof,
Yeah.
who did Watchmen, the series, which is a masterpiece, and
Yeah.
he did The Leftovers, which is my all-time favorite show. And I was not expecting it to be sweary
Yes.
at all.
Yeah.
So it's got Kelly MacDonald, who was in Trainspotting and was Llewellyn Moss's wife in No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
Scottish actress. She's
And
great.
then, the main guys are
It's
Carl
Carl
Chandler and What's that dude's name?
He's in
He's
the
in
movie
Rebel
you
Ridge.
Loved. Yes, yeah, he's a British actor.
I think his name's Aaron Pierre.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
Oh, that
He's-
like sort of light skinned guy with the
Yeah, he's
Very
got,
like
he's
he's got like bluish
piercing eyes.
eyes.
He's fucking gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
he did.
incredibly handsome.
if a Siberian husky was a person.
He's beautiful, jeepers.
Yeah.
He was also in like an episode or two of Underground Railroad, which he's just a really great talent.
Very
so
good
I'm
actor, yeah.
excited to
What is
see
the
it.
idea of the Green Lantern apart from Willem Dafoe's? Oh, that's
Willem
Green Goblin.
That's Green Goblin, yeah.
What am I thinking of? What's Green Lantern?
Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
They're space cops.
Yeah.
They space cops.
They are
Yes.
space
But in this
cops.
case, they're like investigating something. We still don't know like what
Yeah.
the bad guy is or anything.
They were. Wasn't it Fillion? Wasn't it Nathan Fillion?
Fillion was one of the Green Lanterns.
He was in
Superman.
yeah, with the
He
bad
was-
haircut.
He was Guy Gardner.
yeah.
They can make.
Constructs.
They can.
With
they
their
can
rings.
make
Constructs.
these kind of green objects.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a police force where like multiple species and aliens
Yes.
protect the galaxy together. you
Yeah.
know?
Okay. No, that sounds cool.
It yeah.
And
actually looks,
it makes
looks
for a
interesting.
good show
Yeah, I think it will
where
make
you
for a
can
good
just
show.
have different space solving escapades.
Yeah, and people are complaining about the lack of like Green Lantern-y stuff, but I'm like,
It's a
I
trailer.
also think that stuff's going to be in there, but they're not going to throw it all
It's
in
a
the
fucking
trailer.
But that's what I hate about most
I don't,
audiences
I
these
don't,
days.
I don't
Yeah.
want to hear about complainers.
Yeah, no, most audiences these days are knee-jerk reactions to trailers. So like, it's like Superman, they'll like react to, oh, look how bad his suit looked, and it's a crappy on-set photo from some guy
And also, you have to realize
500
they
meters away.
they're
you know?
they're still working on it.
Yeah.
But speaking of crazy reactions, can we talk about? Hey, did you guys see? Timothy Chalamet is losing a little bit of favor here.
Yeah,
So
I
weird.
think he's lost the race.
So
yeah,
we're in a political scene
oh my
to
God.
get
What is
votes
he doing?
for an Oscar. Okay, so political favor and how we sort of feel about these people.
You know.
Yeah.
Are they heroes? Are they villains? Is an important part of whether or not you get an Oscar. It unfortunately has nothing to do with how well you acted
Yeah.
Yeah.
in that one movie.
Campaigning.
To some
Exactly.
degree, obviously that gets you there, but then it's about your story, right? You can imagine a publicist sort of building this. So in some actor-on-actor type interview, him and McConaughey, I don't know what the context was that set
I
up
have
that
no
comment.
idea.
I think it was in I know, but I know. Yeah.
he went on to say, "I don't want to work in ballet or opera because
Yeah.
nobody cares about that."
Yeah.
He goes on to acknowledge, "Oh, I've probably pissed off some people here."
Yeah.
But I love how all of this is campaigning for a movie about ping pong.
and also,
So it's like nobody gives a fuck about ping
but
pong.
you know what's
Yeah.
ironic is
But-
that so his mother was a ballet teacher,
Right.
and also the ironic thing is people made a good point is like is Chalamet playing him Marty Supreme in these campaign trails because he's behaving the same way.
Well, yeah. So the bigger context for those who may have not been in the little algorithm bubbles we
Yeah.
are in is that a lot of people were kind of pissed off by this because this little pup, this little kid,
Yeah.
is saying the world doesn't care about ballet and opera, and it's like, of course they're not mainstream
yeah.
things,
Yeah.
but the world, of course, cares
Oh, I
about
said
ballet.
that. Oh
And
my
it's like,
God.
unfortunately, if he hasn't been alive for long enough to realize this, is like just as much as the world wants to make you a hero, the world loves taking you down.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so,
yeah.
like, if you make a stupid comment that everyone can attach you to, they love the idea that it's like, no, bud, we care about ballet. And so all of a sudden, a lot of people are going to care more about
Yeah.
ballet than they did. Everyone who cares about ballet will continue.
Yeah.
But now there's a little pot shot at the guy.
I hate
And
all this.
but my one question to you, Perrin, because
Yes.
maybe you know this more, is the timing of when you cast your vote.
Yeah. So
Did this make it?
I was going to ask.
Did this
like,
backlash actually affect
So-
the timing of the voting?
So as far as I know, voting ended like 2 weeks ago. So I'm not too sure if he missed that window of pissing off people because that would affect the votes. Jessie Buckley's comment recently where she said that people are saying, "Oh, she's lost her career's over now."
Because people
She-
also love the article
Yeah.
talking about how he's lost the credit.
Yeah.
So,
So-
everybody gets something out of it. Everyone
So-
gets a bite. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. So Jessie Buckley recently made a comment that her husband, there was an ultimatum at some stage in their relationship where she's like, "It's either me or your cats," and we don't know the full context of that situation. It could have been a situation where he was literally obsessing over his pets
What she
yeah.
said in the interview was the cat was doing stuff like shitting in their bed.
There we go.
I'm like, cool.
That
I totally
is-
understand.
Yeah. So people
Not
were like,
wanting that in your
she's
house.
lost the Oscar. No, she
Okay,
fucking
I didn't even know
hasn't.
about this. Of course she hasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Anyway.
I hate all this.
But
This
do-
stuff shouldn't matter.
But do you know what I find interesting, hey, is that like the only always talk about campaigning and stuff for the Oscars and stuff. The loudest campaigner by far was Chalamet for this Oscar run.
Yeah.
Everyone else hasn't really been campaigning. Like,
Not as hard.
Michael B. Jordan, I've barely heard anything about. It's almost like he's just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jessie Buckley hasn't needed to campaign purely because of her performance buzz.
Exactly.
Like literally, the only big other actor where I could see a studio were pushing for was Neon with Wagner Moura and The Secret Agent, which I'm still baffled that they didn't push harder for. It Was Just an Accident, which is an Iranian film, and what's happening even before what's happening now, like would be a big fucking flag, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Charlemagne. I don't know what
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Can I tell a cat in the bed story?
Oh,
Yes.
I was house sitting.
This is a new segment. Cat in the Bed story.
I was house sitting when I was at varsity, and it was a family's house. So naturally, you would want to stay in the master bedroom because it's the better bedroom in the house. And the dad was like, "So, you know, the reason why you're house sitting is because you got to look after the animals, right? Otherwise, you would just lock up the house and go on holiday." And so the dad was like, "So there's this strange thing that happens with the cat. If you're sleeping in the bed, it comes in through the window very early. It comes under the covers, and it sort of climbs into bed with you.
Right.
No.
And it could be disarming.
Okay.
It could give you a fright because it's a cat. It's not just a lovable dog. It's like cats have claws.
Yes.
And I was like, didn't think much about it
No.
until I spent the first night in this house.
Right.
And this thing scared the shit out of me, and it was fucking sore. And I was just like, nope. No, not staying in this bed. So I stayed in the girls' bedroom for the rest of the week or the weekend. Funny.
Cute. Yeah, my cat does that. One of
Cats are the worst.
One of my brother's friends had a story where I can't remember if it was his friend or we heard it from somewhere. Anyways, the thing was there was a cat where when you're sleeping at night, the cat would obsessively stick his head in your mouth. So like you're trying to sleep and you're like snoring and suddenly there's a cat in your mouth and it's just like
In your
chilling
mouth?
there. Yeah.
Oh,
Cats
God.
are fucking weird, dude.
I had a sort of somewhat of a one night stand with a girl, and once we'd ended and we were asleep, she had this little kitten, and so she was asleep, and this little kitten was keeping me up all night, and I fucking hated this little cat. It was like the cutest little thing in the world. I was like, but I've never hated a little kitten more.
Shame.
It just didn't stop making a noise. Anyways, we digress. Are there any more burning ones?
One more.
Okay.
Go for it.
Hey, did you guys see Tiana Taylor, who plays Perfidia in One Battle After Another, is trying to convince, or her and PTA, she's claiming her and PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, the director of One Battle After Another, they are talking about possibly doing a spin-off or a sequel to the movie following her, which would be interesting.
Yeah, because she disappears.
Yeah, after
She's
like
in
30
the beginning,
minutes,
and then I actually throughout the movie was wondering if she would come back to kind of like get the daughter.
Yeah. So that'd be interesting because we only hear about where she's gone to in the movie, and then we hear again from her at the very last scene. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, look,
it is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's great. Her and Paul Thomas Anderson, I think, are going to collaborate more in the future because they get along like a house on fire. And she has famously said, "Let the man cook," when she talks about Paul Thomas Anderson.
Okay.
So she's a big champion of his work. So yeah, I would not say no to that because she's a really interesting character, and
I feel like it's her in her best element.
yeah,
But speaking of interesting trailer or spin-offs or sequels, hey, did you guys see Monsters
I was
Incorporated
literally-
3 is in
yeah.
is
I missed
in
that.
Monsters Inc. 3
Okay.
is in
Yeah.
has been sort of greenlit.
It's interesting that they're calling it 3 because the sequel was a prequel, which was Monsters University.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
It might get another name at some point. But
Yeah.
it's just known as Monsters Inc. 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as it's Pete Docter, I'll be there. He directed the first two. He's
Yeah, and I enjoyed Hoppers.
great
I
director.
really liked
Hoppers was rad.
Yeah, Hoppers was really
Oh.
fun. It's cute.
Wait, is he the director?
No, he was a producer
Yeah,
on Hoppers.
he's one of like the top dudes.
I
guys
think
at
he
Pixar.
runs
he's involved
Pixar
in,
now. Yeah.
Okay, he's
Well,
involved
he's-
in basically everything they
Yeah,
do.
he's one of the main creators.
His name
Yeah.
is?
Pete Docter.
They did
Doctor.
Soul.
Yeah, he did
Inside
Soul. He
Out,
did Monsters
yeah.
Inc.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. Hoppers so far has done well.
Did pretty
So
well. Yeah.
The reports have said it's one of the best
40
performing.
million on the weekend. Yeah.
It's one of the best performing original Pixar films since Coco.
Okay.
Which is
That's what the-
interesting because I thought going into this when you asked the group like, hey, who's going to go to Hoppers?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is Hoppers? And I had never. There was no marketing.
They barely marketed
It
that
was
day.
small.
So like I was surprised. I was like, flop written all over it.
You know,
I love Pixar, but whatever. Watched it, loved it, and I'm
Yeah.
glad it's doing well because
It's great. Yeah,
it's good.
I really want to find a spot for it, but
you know,
our weekends in March, it's such a lovely problem to have. Our weekends in March are so full
right.
that I can't get like good, solid kind of family kid slots in. But there is a holiday coming up, so
Cool.
I think I could perhaps do that because at the Bioscope, when there is a school holiday and we do screenings during the day,
Yeah.
we say if a grandparent brings the kid,
Right.
the grandparent gets popcorn for free.
Okay.
Because my feeling, this is my hear my logic here,
Yeah.
is that if you are living in Joburg and it is a holiday and you haven't left Joburg, there is a good chance that is because you still have to work.
Yeah.
And so if you have to work and your kid is on holiday, there's a good chance a grandparent will take them
That's
to the
so
movies.
true.
Yes.
Because that the little bit that has happened has always been grandparents. But what's so cool, without giving much away, is that like kind of at the pip
Yeah.
of Hoppers is this relationship between her and her grandmother.
Yes.
So it's so sweet
Yeah.
that that the grandmothers
It's very true.
play in.
actually.
So hopefully it's at the beginning of April.
Okay. Cool.
If it's not too late, we can still pick it up.
Mhm.
I want to do that and Magic Faraway Tree
Okay. Cool.
as our like school holiday thing,
Oh, that's
as
a good
well
pick.
as Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, like young teenage boys are also on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be a cool school holiday program.
Mm.
Okay. All right. Well, this is perfectly timed because here she comes. You guys got something that can keep you busy for a bit?
Yeah. I'll dust the shelves.
You'll dust the
I'll
shelf.
put some dust on the shelves.
Okay. You'll put the dust on the shelves. You'll
It's a
take it off.
collab. Yeah, I like it.
At my nappy bri,
Oh,
when we
yes.
were all hanging out in my parents' garden chipping golf, I made a point that it looked like my one friend made the drugs, and the other friend was dressed like he took the drugs. Sorry, it made me think of that. All right, let's get into it. This is Kudi popping in to rent something. How's it?
Hi.
It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
We've never met,
I've heard lots about you though.
and I've heard lots about you.
Yeah.
We have a person who works behind the counter here called Cole, who works with your bestie Olga.
Okay. K-O-H-L Cole?
C-O-L-E.
C-O-L-E.
Cole.
Okay.
It's a lovely
That
name,
is the
eh?
traditional
I
spelling.
think so. And so when this connection was made, Cole was like, we've got to get Kudi on the show
Fantastic.
because we have to talk about you
Yay!
and Bad Influencer and
Fantastic.
everything. What we love here at the video store is to break down all the interesting roles that one can do in the film industry. So we've taken great joy in having sound editors and score composers and, everyone, not just the directors. I'd love to find out, and we'll get into it, what it means to be a creator of a show. Like the sort of showrunner, right? Is that
Yeah.
the same kind of thing?
Well, not traditionally, not in South Africa, because for this structure, for example, I'm a creator of the show who worked with a team of writers, and then it was the production then went to Gambit, and there was a creative producer. So I don't think we have a traditional showrunner role in this country.
Okay. Because
Yeah,
in the States,
structure-wise.
when one speaks of a showrunner, that's sort of someone that sort of what kind of carries it throughout, right? Is that right?
Yeah. So I was involved in the production for sure, but the creative producer was Nozipo from Gambit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, no, but we'll get into
Okay,
it.
we'll get there.
First thing, you've walked into our video store. Is there something that you've got that you're returning?
That I'm returning.
This is something that you've watched recently or something that you've enjoyed?
Well, the thing is, I have a bad habit of not returning things.
Sure. Okay, so let's say it's something you've had for a while that you don't want to get too big a fine for.
Okay, well, I'll definitely say Lord of the Rings trilogy, of course. Yeah.
Okay, have you watched that recently?
I watch it once every year.
Okay.
So it's your comfort watch.
It's
eh?
my comfort watch,
Yeah,
at least
of
once a
course.
year. And then Star Wars as well, episode 1 to 6.
wow.
Yeah, have to.
Which cuts of Lord of the Rings do you prefer, theatrical or extended?
I don't think I've ever actually watched the extended version. I've only watched the theatrical one.
So I'm in the process of trying to convince my girlfriend to watch all 3 of them, and she's always whinged about like, oh, it's so long.
It
I'm
really
like,
is long, but you know,
But it's so good.
it's
right?
really good.
So she's only watched the Fellowship, and she's like, it was fun. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I've decided to give her only the theatrical cuts for now,
Okay.
because the extended are like 4 hours.
Oh, 4 hours, man. I really
It's
want to watch
insane.
that. What detail did I miss?
It's like apparently.
Extra
So I've
lore
never
or
read. Yeah, I've
something.
never read
Oh,
the books.
really?
So
Oh, no, I've read the
apparently-
books.
Oh, really?
I'm in there.
Interesting.
Let's go.
Okay, so I don't think they'll spend 2 hours describing what the Ents look like. So, because I know.
I think they should, though, because the ends were amazing.
There we go. So you should
And
try
the
the extended
elves.
cuts. I'm
I
surprised you
think I
haven't watched
should.
them. Yeah.
I
This
mean,
is
yeah,
lovely.
I don't know that.
Is there something that you watched like recently, some show or some movie that's like a recent thing that you've enjoyed?
Oh gosh, I watch so much stuff. It's strange that the only thing that seems to grab my attention is sci-fi. Let's see, Foundation. That's something that I finished
Oh,
watching
cool.
recently.
Yeah.
And what else did I
That's
enjoy?
on Apple TV Plus.
It's Asimov, right?
Yeah,
Isaac Asimov,
Asimov.
yeah.
And then Night of the Seven Kingdoms, which is also really good.
I need to
Very
start
good.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
There,
yeah.
I was very hesitant when they were like, "Oh, it's gonna have a comedy spin," and I was like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what are they gonna do?" And it's amazing.
Okay.
Really, it's like the best addition to.
Do you feel like
the
it's
spin-off.
redeeming the way we sort of left Game of Thrones?
You know what? I think people are really hard on that. I also rewatched that earlier this year as
Oh,
well.
really?
Game of
Okay.
Thrones season 1 to 7.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And it makes sense cumulatively what Daenerys was going through. Honestly, with obviously
Yeah,
the books, they go into like deeper stuff, but it makes sense as a whole.
We
Yeah.
said that they could have given us a little more of a reminder of how bad or how much she had in her,
Yeah.
so that final stuff.
And
makes
maybe it
sense.
was like because in the books she has nightmares, right? And that's
Yeah,
sort of like the
yeah.
psychological thing that makes us understand why she becomes the way she is, because she's tortured, and we don't see
course,
any of
We
that
don't
in the
see
book.
any of that,
Yeah, we don't see that on TV, which is a shame.
Because I mean, we do get like ideas of where she's heading when that first like big thing that she does where she burns those guys in
Yes,
season 3.
exactly.
So like you can see the Mad
Khals,
Queen
exactly.
is starting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the argument was that at that end, you know, when they do the sort of recap,
Yes,
they should have given you those scenes to go like, just
exactly.
remember
Just,
she
just
was
feed
like,
us a little bit more. Yeah.
Anyway.
Previously on Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, she does burn the Khals. That was
Yeah.
pretty hectic. And then she storms that city and she takes over
Yeah,
and she
yeah.
kills all the masters.
No, she's like brutal.
Okay.
yeah, she's
So
hectic.
is it safe to say that you're like quite a like geeky person in that
Yeah,
sense?
I know it doesn't seem like it, but I
Awesome.
really am.
But
yeah.
that's exciting. And that's
You're in the
lovely.
right place.
you.
Where did we grow up?
I grew up in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
I went to convent there, and then I came
Nice.
to Cape Town. I went to Cape Town rather for UCT.
okay.
So I studied film theory and
But
production there.
formative years, primary school, high school was in Zim.
All in Zim,
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So I was only here for university, and then I did performance at UCT in addition to film production.
Amazing.
And then I started working in the system, internships, all of those things. Ended up in Joburg, worked my way up from production companies,
Awesome.
the quizzicals, the everything, doing freelance work, everything though on set, from like scripting to production. And then I kind of settled in at Paramount, which was like my official job, because I was now
Okay.
like a development content executive for 5 years. Learned everything about the business, in front of,
Okay.
behind of, legally, the structures, everything.
Jeez.
And then I got an opportunity to pitch a show to Netflix, and I was like, cool. Having the base knowledge of what audience want, having learned that from being in rooms in Paramount and listening and learning, I
Okay.
took that knowledge and I was like, cool, let's create something that I know the audience will like.
What was that? What were those nuggets when you speak of what the audience wants? What do they want?
Well,
What is this? This is a South African audience? specifically?
Yeah, well, it's a South African audience, and the idea is that it translates as well globally. And the
Sure,
same
sure.
sort of themes seem to be present, which is that it needs to be something that's quite modern and topical and in the world of everything that people are experiencing. But also, everyone's catering to the second screen aspect of consumption now. But
Okay.
in addition to that, social media has become such a big thing in terms of how we consume content. That a part of me was thinking, why don't we actually just go into the social media world?
So the show Bad Influencer, when we'll get into it, is set in the world of influencing
media.
and
Yeah.
social media, specifically this kind of Instagram personality, and I can totally see how you gripped people. I hadn't watched the show. Upon meeting you, I was like, I obviously have to watch.
Do your research.
I have to
please.
do my research, and I just loved specifically how much I got from episode 1 and how it
Amazing, good.
just set it all up. And I was like, I turned to my wife because I'm also raising a newborn. We've got like this 1 month, so if
Sweet.
I can make it through an episode at this point in my life, it's exciting.
Well done.
So I made it through episode 1, and I was like, I could totally see it. I could totally see how you've set up your characters, you've set up your heroes, you've set up your villains, you've set up the stake, and it's Parent, you know about it?
I've only heard about it. I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
had a chance to watch it.
We've got this lovely central character who is, back against the wall, owes loan
All the
sharks
time.
money, is trying to be a mom,
Oh.
but in this hole, but makes counterfeit products.
Oh, cool.
Makes really great counterfeit bags. There's a whole history of it being sort of learned through your dad, which I'm sure you kind of go on to expand on. And she teams up with a up-and-coming influencer to try and sell the bags through her channels.
Yeah.
But you're introduced into the world of the fancy aspirant sort of Santon Joburg lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It got me in.
Thank you. Good.
When did that start? When did you create that?
So
And what were those sort of moments like to create a show?
the moments of creating it was because I was an influencer.
Okay.
I did
Oh,
it as a
crazy.
side hustle at some point, and I was. It was during my transition from moving from Cape Town to Joburg, so I
Okay.
would go to all of these events. I would see how everything seemed quite performative. Like everything that you see on your screen as you're scrolling is definitely a very
Yeah.
much fabricated moment. So I went to quite a lot of events, met a lot of influencers, and it was just quite interesting for me as an outsider, and I still consider myself as an outsider, experiencing this world. And I guess it also helps that I have a journalistic background. So to me, everything
that's
is a
interesting.
potential story, right? So then I applied to the Netflix episodic Realness Lab, and then I found writers. My writing team consisted of Daniel Zimbler, super talented. He wrote for Shaka, Tali's Wedding Diary.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sydney Dire, also very talented.
Big hitters, eh?
He wrote for Marked, so that was the writing team. And over the course of 18 months, we were literally in the trenches coming up with a story. So I pitched an idea which had aspects of counterfeit in it. And the characters BK and Pinky were always the characters that I pitched. And then throughout that process of development, the show became something else. And honestly, I can only just credit the writers, because, especially Daniel, because literally they were the driving engine of the story. And we worked quite closely together to make sure that it became what you saw on screen.
Yeah. And then I think what's so exciting is that, you've catered for a South African audience to tell the South African story. But of course, you forget that Netflix, just like we consume the Korean stuff and the foreign, Eastern European films and all of that, these folks get to watch our stuff. And so what was that feeling like for you when this thing made it out into other Netflixes?
Yeah, well, the thing is, the story was written with such, it's quite a local story, but I think what the production company then did and what Nozipo's eye helped do is she elevated. So she comes from the experience of Blood and Water, right? And
Okay.
that's a show
and that was a
did
very successful one.
Yeah.
super successful show. It did so well, and she had the experience of knowing how to speak to a local audience, but also transcending that to a global audience as well. So her eye also helped in terms of elevating that to what it then became. Because it's kind of a process where you could give that same script to a different producer, you wouldn't get necessarily the
it's
same
true.
product.
Sure.
But because of her and her eye, it was then elevated to what it then became.
What were some of those examples of it? of a sort of a change or a move
Yeah.
that you saw? Can you think of one in particular?
I would say just the visual style. Definitely the visual style that she came up with is because I wrote it with the notion of the bear. So the pacing of the
cool.
bear was something that I had written within script, what Daniel and I had written in script.
Anxious
And she was
pacing,
then be able to take that to create a visual style that was also quite, quick and quippy.
Yeah.
So I think
And then
you see
there
it
are
in-
those lovely like sort of stills.
yeah.
Where it just gives you a moment where it's
Like-
like,
like
look
those
at that,
vignettes,
look at the
exactly.
jewelry,
Yeah.
look at the
Yeah.
detail on the bag, look at
Yeah.
okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And then when did it come out?
It came out on the 31st of October
Last year.
last year. Yeah.
Okay, so it's still fresh.
Still
very
fresh.
fresh,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. This is-
And then what were those feelings like when you were getting those reports from around the world?
Look, it's always overwhelming. And you have to understand that I left my job to start a company to work on a project that I didn't think was going to do what it did.
Crazy, yeah.
This was the biggest gamble that I've ever taken in my entire life.
That's interesting.
And sure, I had side hustles on the side, but in my mind, I was thinking, if this doesn't work, this doesn't work,
Yeah.
right? So you can only hope that a show does well. For it to have done as well as it did, that's insane.
Just to stick out, just to like move past everything else is a challenge. There's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
such a thing there. So this is you starting Lincoln Green.
Yes, Lincoln Green Media.
Where did that name come from? I'm
That's
just
the
curious.
road that I grew up on.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's.
Love it.
I won't give you my whole address, but it's
Yeah.
Lincoln Green Media.
This is
Lincoln
in
Green is the
this
area.
is in Zim.
Yeah.
There was a comedian, Mark Vlismus, who used to do something so funny, which he'd go like, he'd do crowd work. He'd say, "Where are you from?" And they'd say, "Oh, the neighborhood." "Oh, no ways. What street?" And then they'd say, he'd go, "Oh, no ways. Like, what number?" And then eventually he's like, "You just gave everyone your address."
Exactly. So
Okay.
it's just like,
Okay. Let's talk about when you were living at Lincoln Green. Is that
Yeah.
corner of Lincoln and Green?
No, it's
just those-
Lincoln Green is the area.
It's the area.
But I grew up in a crescent, but
Okay.
obviously I won't say which one.
Of course. No. But let's talk just specifically about perhaps your beginning love of this geekdom.
Yeah, sure.
We've got something called your puppy love film, which is the first film that you fell in love with.
Fifth Element.
Oh,
Okay. I love how you
great
don't even
movie.
skip a beat.
Fifth
Lisa
Element.
Dallas.
Young,
Yeah,
Yeah.
great movie.
But this is young. This is like primary school, hey?
That was the first
wow.
film that had such an impression on me.
Such a
Like
great movie.
Diva Plava Laguna and that scene where they intercut with the fight. That is. And then I found out that it's basically based on a manga, and I was a little bit upset. But I loved Ghost in the Shell as well.
Oh my God,
yeah. Apparently, didn't Bassan, he was with that woman in real life?
Mila Jovovich, yeah.
No, the woman who sang in the
Oh,
the
Plava
that
Laguna.
actually, that makes sense.
Or like he
yeah.
he doesn't seem like a nice person in real life. he cheated on his wife with that actress, or that was his actress, and then that was his wife that he,
Oh my
or
gosh.
someone that he cheated on. He doesn't sound
Oh my gosh.
he doesn't sound like a
We
nice
still
dude.
love Fifth Element.
But we still love Fifth
Okay,
Element.
yeah.
Okay, then we go over to high school. We've got your high school crush
High School Crush as a film.
as a
or-
film. We're only speaking films here.
Okay, good. Because I was like, do I
No,
even
no.
do I even remember him?
No, he doesn't matter. The
Doesn't
film,
matter.
Yeah.
the film matters. This is also where maybe sometimes it gets a little more adult because you're now in
Yeah.
high school.
I would say it was probably the Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, hell
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
That is one of the most rewatchable movies. If it's
Yeah,
on,
completely.
Fifth Element as well. The moment it's on, I can finish it. It's
Yeah.
just so, it's flawless.
Completely. I mean, there was other films like Mortal Kombat, and I remember that
Oh, cool.
that song, the one that played the Orbital song.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, the Mortal.
that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a Mortal Kombat coming. There's a
There's
redo.
There's a redo.
Yeah, there's a second redo.
Why?
Yeah.
I hope it's
Wow.
good.
It looks cheesy, but in a delightful
Oh,
We'll
way.
no,
watch
you're
it
thinking
anyway.
of Street Fighter.
No, there's a Mortal
Oh,
Kombat.
another one. Okay.
IP, I'm telling
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Do it
There we
once,
go.
you don't have to do it again.
That's
true,
We'll be
eh?
printing checks forever.
Okay, now we've moved to Cape Town.
Mm.
Okay, so now we're exposed a bit more to South African culture. And with Cape Town, obviously, you're now exposed to such a lovely global mix as well. We've got the It's Getting Serious film,
Yeah.
which is like, what did you study?
So I
at
studied film
UCD?
theory and practice. So we
Okay,
had
so
to
it is
watch a
getting serious.
lot of stuff.
Okay.
Oh
Is there one
my
that sticks
gosh.
out?
We watched so many things. I would say there was the documentary stuff. I'm going to have to circle back to you on this
Well,
one.
I can tell you a story, which is...
But I will say it was most likely the anime stuff because we had
cool.
one of the courses that we had to watch had
Yeah.
anime and adaptation.
Ghost
and
of the Shell.
it was like theory
yeah.
around Western interpretation of Eastern media, all of those things.
Oh, lovely, yeah.
So Ghost in the Shell came in there, Paprika as well,
Paprika's
way
great.
before Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we all
Yeah.
know the nod.
Perfect Blue, yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing a Japanese course at WITS, which I think
Okay.
had a similar mix to UCT, where you're sort of in this bigger varsity structure, but
Exactly.
you do the film school. And we watched Grave of the Fireflies.
Okay.
And we all,
Saddest movie.
all had a
ever.
nice communal sobbing.
Oh my gosh.
Do you know what's funny about when they released that in Japan? That movie was so obviously devastating that in order to counteract the sadness, they immediately played My Neighbor Totoro afterwards to get people happy again because
Good.
like it's just too much. But you guys are lucky, man. Like with film school, because I went to AFTA, we never watched movies. They didn't show us any movies. You guys were like
Really?
actually forced to.
We were
watch
always
movies.
jealous of the after kids because you guys got to make a lot
Yeah,
more.
you got to
That's-
hold the cameras more.
Exactly.
That's the benefit of AFTA is that we had a lot of practical hands-on experience.
Yeah.
We were making films in first year. We were making like 4 movies
No,
a
we
year.
couldn't touch that.
No,
Yeah.
we
Until,
couldn't.
like, about
Yeah,
second
they were
year.
just like get the theory right, and I
Yeah.
suppose in a lot of ways that really did help
It does
because
help, yeah.
theory makes you understand voice, right? You get to
100%,
filter voice,
yeah.
and that's sort of the thing that you do when you go to all of these labs that I've been in. They always kind of go, "What's your voice? What's your voice? What's your voice? Who's the auteur in you?"
Yeah.
Type of thing.
We
And
had a
theory
lecturer
helps
say,
with that.
what is the epistemological question?
Okay.
Which I thought was pretentious, but it made sense, which is what's your pip? What's your pip
Yeah.
idea? We at Varsity had a lovely bunch of dudes. They went on to be a production company called Coal Stove, but they started this like Coal Stove
Wendy then,
movie night,
yeah.
Wendy
Very
and all of it.
cool. Yeah.
And so it was very cool to get together once a month and screen these student films. And I'll never forget going, okay, the Wits films were smart and thought through and were interesting ideas, but maybe looked a bit shit. But the after stuff looked like a commercial,
Man,
Yeah.
it looked
but,
so good.
but maybe fell a bit flat in its idea
It's so funny because like
and its story.
when I was at AFTA, at that point it was just Joburg and Cape Town. And towards the end, they were starting to open Durban and all the
Yeah.
other locations. And with Cape Town and Joburg, there was always like a bit of jealousy from us as well because they were getting all the creative freedom because, you know, Cape Town. So like
Because
the
you know Cape
no,
Town.
because the experimental films, the Cape Town films, absolutely blew us out of the water because you know expression and like the mountain,
The
and, you know,
voice.
yeah, no, the ocean, the mountain, you know, like beautiful. Anyways, so we sucked at experimental. Graduation though, that's when you have to make them more commercially viable, more focus on story and how you can connect with an audience. We absolutely rinsed Cape Town every single time.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's just interesting to see the dynamics where it's totally different.
That's
you
a
know?
film right there.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you,
there you go. Right?
one of the best weeks for me at film school was when we did the personal film.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
lecturer, we had an incredible lecturer. Finnish, who exposed me at a nice, impressionable time to gender fluidity. Taku now identifies as a male out there in this,
cool.
in this beautiful world. And he said, I can't allow you to make personal films without first being open and vulnerable myself. And he explained his struggles and what it's
Interesting.
like to have gone through the world looking the way they do. And it sort of set this like interesting precedent at the start of the week. And the instruction was you're either going to pass or fail this personal film. You're either going to like do it or you're not. And all of us, even some of the people in our class who by 4 years you kind of know each other and know their strengths and weaknesses. And some of them like haven't really produced amazing work in your opinion. Everyone's film was great because it had this like
That's great.
this vulnerability and this personalness to it. And some of them were painfully simple, like one-shot ideas or just very simple. But it left me going, oh, this is how you do it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's so strange that you mentioned that in terms of the voice and finding the most authentic and vulnerable thing. I watched Joburg Film Festival just ended. I watched Memories of Princess Mumbi yesterday,
I know, I missed
which
that in the mix.
is such an incredible film.
Where's
This,
that? Where's that?
it
Who
was
made that?
playing. Oh my gosh, I
Well,
literally watched it
is it
yesterday.
South
and I don't
African?
remember. No, it's a Swiss director, and what he
Okay.
did is he combined the story of a love story in documentary style, and he used AI
very
in terms of
cool.
some of the backdrops. So it's
Ah.
set in a kingdom in Africa in 2100, and
Oh,
he used
amazing.
AI to fill up the rest of the set and the backdrop. But he calls it to attention, right? Because we are at the stage where it's not
Yeah.
photoreal. And he makes it part of the documentary because it's about these two lovers, and he uses green screen. He references green screen. He references the fact that it's AI, but it's done in such a tasteful
sounds
way,
so good.
whilst retaining his voice, and it's shot beautifully.
What is it called?
Memories of Princess Mumbi.
Okay.
Yeah, it,
That's what
sounds
you've
amazing.
returned.
Yeah,
That's
oh,
the film you've returned
there
to
we
the
go.
bioscope.
I've
That's
just
what
returned.
that's what I was looking for. Is that like that one that's come to you recently? That,
Yeah.
that you just
Oh gosh,
go,
we went on a meander there before I gave you an answer.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. What is on the cards for you now? Like, what is
Yeah.
now that you've quit the job and you've had this initial success? Like, what do we do? What do we do next?
I am pitching like a crazy person. So
Okay.
the strategy moving forward now is I'd like to develop my own IP, which is comic books,
Okay.
books themselves.
Let's
Amazing.
please
and-
talk about the manga.
Yeah.
Or the,
So
how do you pitch
cool.
it?
So, well, basically, I need to talk about my company, which is
Okay.
that how we do things now is that obviously we made Bad Influencer, which is great, but I think in the thinking now, it's a case of going, how else can we create things that has verticals? So, for example, you create
Okay.
a comic, but what else can you do with it? You can do merchandising, you can do this, you can do that, you can do this. And in working with certain companies like Zebra Comics, Comic Republic in other parts of Africa, their model is quite interesting because they are building an IP catalog,
Okay.
right? They have been building an audience, firstly, but also secondly, different IP. And what they're doing now is they're taking these different things, they're turning them into animation, they're turning some of them into live action. They've got massive deals with like the Warner Brothers. This is all like public information. So I thought to myself, it'll be interesting if I could do the same thing, right? And a lot of the time you'll find that you can't necessarily tell sci-fi stories and the stories that we've been discussing now, fantasy, because that's not necessarily what's commercially appealing. So why not just take those ideas and turn them into something that you can build a catalog out of, and maybe one day you can maybe turn it into a video game, you can turn it into, a
Smart.
children's book or whatever.
So in your
Very
head,
smart.
it doesn't even have to be a show.
It doesn't have to
It
be a
doesn't
show.
have to be a show.
No,
Okay.
no.
And
But
so-
that is the one side of it, but also definitely pitching other shows as well.
Because in that world and the one that we've grown up in, yeah, sometimes the toys came first and then we got the TV show.
Exactly.
Sometimes
He-Man,
the TV show
yeah.
existed just to sell the toys.
Yeah,
it's
Like
crazy.
And it was such
It
an
was a big-
experience, right? It was such an
Yeah.
experience. It was really cool.
I think He-Man was
He-Man was one.
was
yeah.
the show to sell the toy.
Transformers as well. Yeah.
Imagine. Yeah.
crazy.
imagine.
Different, sort of, it went in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So what is the show? What is the IP that you? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I can talk about it for sure. So the first one is Artemis Elixir, which is what the visual that I showed you.
Yes.
And that is a dystopian, sort of like Terminator type story
Awesome.
about a woman who comes from the future, comes into the past, and she has like 5 events that she needs to alter. But the person that she's fighting against is her own great-grandmother, who is a scientist for an AI lab.
Cool.
So in the future,
Very
we've got
cool.
an AI agent like... remember Rehoboam in that show in Westworld?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
basically, that's what the future has become. It's like this giant AI that runs everything, and it kind of has everyone's got chips. It's called Okta. So she comes from the future into the past to kind of stop it in these 5 events, like blowing up data centers, stopping, mines in Congo from, all of these big
cool.
things. So it's already gamified in a sense.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And are we in Africa?
We are definitely in Africa, but we're not in... So I've noticed that since Black Panther came out, and this is not a critique or to say it's bad, everyone who's doing these sorts of ideas is doing more or less like more of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one is doing like dystopian.
That's
Yeah.
so true, actually.
Yeah.
So you guys would appreciate this. In the early days of Mabaneng, I just loved and still to this day, you never know who is gonna like walk into the bioscope.
Mm.
Once it was Frances McDormand, which you know,
Holy
That's
shit!
insane.
Oh,
that
I know
happened.
this. Yeah.
But anyways, there was one guy once sipping a coffee, and I was like,
It's
"Cool,
the
where you
Coen
from?"
brothers.
No. This is a different story. A guy sipping a coffee, British dude. He says, "Yeah, we're shooting a film down the road," and I was like, "Oh, cool. What's the film?" And it was Dread.
No way.
Awesome. I
And he
love
was
Dread.
like, and
Keep Carl Urban?
the
Yeah,
Carl
yeah.
Urban
Yeah.
Dread.
He's
And
such an underrated actor.
He's
man.
so good.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings.
And I was like, why here? And he's like, well, the location scout needed to look for post-apocalyptic LA. And he's like, Joburg is pretty much that. He goes, we didn't have to change much.
Yeah.
And you even go to watch that movie and
Yeah,
look
you
at
see
the
the
cityscape.
streets.
You see
Joburg, yeah.
60% of that is
Yeah,
Joburg
and you don't even
as
need
is.
to go that far. District 9, I
Yeah,
mean, like, it's
100%.
just, the reason
Yeah.
it worked is because it was so seamlessly tied into everything that we see.
And we're in some post-apocalypse of some sort.
Of some sort.
In some parts of downtown.
Yeah.
I thought that was delightful. Okay, so where is that for you?
So Artemis Elixir right now, I'm finishing the pages. So we've just got some, so it's very interesting in terms of how this is working, and it kind of, like, it's a lot. So I'm working with illustrators that I've met over the years, but literally from Behance, I went onto that site to find people, but also I got recommended other people, and it's all like Brazilian animators, illustrators, and
Oh,
colorists.
interesting.
I didn't actually anticipate that it would go that direction. I would have loved to work with people locally, but then it ended up just going that way.
Yeah, it's a nice global world in that sense.
Yeah, and some of these guys have worked on some really big things, like the DC stuff, and to have some of those people to work on this is just, it's
That's
really
very
great.
cool.
Yeah.
How do you float yourself financially?
I work a lot.
How do you because this is the interesting struggle for the more producer type is that I would imagine there was some Netflix money that you got as a result of delivering them this show, but then you've got to float yourself, right?
Yeah.
So
it's
what I
hard.
will say is that I'm a voiceover artist.
Okay.
And
That
I do
checks
quite
out.
a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I do a lot more voiceover work than I actually do producing work.
Okay, and that
And
can
I've done-
float. That can float you personally.
Yes.
Okay, while
Correct.
these other things have their own.
Yeah,
Checks and
and
balances.
yeah, exactly. So more or less, I use that to fund these personal projects.
Interesting. Yeah.
And then in addition to that, I'm also an actress. So I've done like commercials.
Jeez.
There's a series that's coming out. I can't tell you which one yet, but it's a global
Oh,
fantasy
cool.
franchise that I'm going to be in later on this
oh
year.
my god, that's
Lovely.
amazing.
So I do as much as possible.
Yeah.
So going back to what I said earlier is when I started out, I was doing like the acting work and the producing work and the directing work, the anything work basically. So
Yeah.
I'm not sitting here complacent going, cool, I've made it. I'm
No,
literally
and
still
that was sort of
hustling.
never the assumption. The assumption was that you did a good hustle. I always just find it interesting how that economy works.
Yeah.
Honestly, it only works if you're doing many things.
That's
That
true.
is the way to do it in terms of like financial sustainability. And I spoke to some creatives the other day and I said to them, if you don't have a side hustle as a creative, I don't know what you're doing.
That's so true, hey?
Interesting. We've got one other film here. It's the film you could marry. Okay, so we've dated, we've had puppy loves, we've had high school crushes. This is the film that you can kind of come back to. The one that you don't necessarily want to marry your It's Getting Serious film, or maybe your puppy love you've outgrown. You could marry your high school
I
crush.
know which one it is.
It's the sort of comfortable shoe film.
It's the settle down film. Yeah.
It's the film you'd settle down.
Arrival.
Oh, great
Interesting.
movie. Great movie.
Denis Villeneuve.
He's so good, man. I
Yeah.
mean,
Knows
like
what
he
he's
did
doing, yeah.
Incendie, which was amazing.
And Sandy is incredible.
I don't know that one. What's
twist
that?
is
That was his
fucking
first
amazing.
one. No, not his first one. It
It's
was his
his
second one. Second
fourth
feature.
one, I think. So
Yeah.
Polytechnique was his second film, which is a black and white like school shooter movie,
Okay.
Canadian French film. And Sandy, I think, is his like international breakthrough.
Yeah, because I think it
Okay.
did well
Was
at
it in
Cannes.
French?
It's so it's French Canadian. It's about these twins who their mother just died, right? But in her will is for them to find their father and brother, their family,
Okay.
and which is in Lebanon, and
Okay.
it's incredible.
Mm.
It's incredible.
An early version of the video store was once this little segment on 947 called More Than the Movie, which was me like trying to create conversation around cinema and movies and facts and interesting things to talk about. The delightful Greg and Lucky gave me like a little segment for a bit. And Arrival was one of the movies I covered in that time. So Arrival feels very close to my heart because I did a lot of research around it. It's a very interesting alien encounter movie because it is not about the aliens coming and attacking. No. It's the complete opposite of Independence Day. It's about linguistics.
Yeah, and it's so conceptually smart.
Which is something you guys will both really enjoy in Project Hail Mary, which is, we know this Gosling film that's coming up.
Oh, yes,
we know
that's based on something.
The book
it's
is
based on a
phenomenal.
book.
Yeah.
The book is
But
so good.
one delightful part of it, without giving too much away, is the same thing, which is when two completely different entities have to meet, how do you communicate?
Yeah.
And how can you build a language model? And so what's very cool about these aliens in Arrival is that they speak in this particular way, which is in a circular pattern.
Yeah.
So they know
so good.
it's so smart,
but
they
also
know,
time, right? The language is
Yeah,
time.
it's so good.
They know the beginning and the end at the same time,
Yeah.
and you're presented with it. I took great joy in finding out the score of the movie.
Yes, apparently that
Was-
guy passed away. Hey?
Yeah, he's
I don't
an
know.
Icelandic
composer.
Johan Johansson. Yeah.
He the pieces are recorded that can be played both backwards and forwards.
The one that
It's
one.
just-
It sounds like
I actually
Morse
wanna
code.
watch it. I'm
Hey?
gonna watch it
actually
again
sounds
today.
like Morse code.
But
It's
in
so
its
interesting.
in the
It's
structure
beautiful.
of the music notes, if you play it forward and play it backwards, I believe it's a sort of a mathematical
Really,
thing.
it's like a circular
That
thing.
it's a circular kind of.
I'm gonna actually try and get the sheet
composer.
music of that and try and see if I can play it on the violin.
Can you play violin?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can.
Lovely. And then Arrival very famously has a very confusing ending.
It's not though.
But it's not confusing.
It
It's
isn't.
not.
It all
which-
comes together so
which
perfectly.
I
Yeah.
sort of only
And
to be
actually,
very
it's
honest.
a circular thing because you could actually just watch it from that point onwards. Watch it again.
I then later understood it, what we were actually watching in that moment.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wish. So Denis Villeneuve is such a sophisticated filmmaker.
Yeah.
I think it's because he's French. I don't know.
no, but he holds your hand strong.
He really does.
Yeah.
And he does
You
that
never-
with Dune
you-
as well. I
Yeah,
must
you
say.
never left going, wait, who's that? Why that? What's going on?
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand that choice. It just
Yeah.
feels strong and effortless where he's like, come with me.
Yeah.
I'm in the minority who, I mean, there is a growing silent minority now that feel that Blade Runner 2049, I actually like it more than Blade Runner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think his Blade Runner is incredible. I think it's the
know,
perfect
but okay.
choice. I love Blade Runner. Like, I think it's one of the most perfect films ever made, but I enjoy 2049 more. I don't know what it is, but yeah.
Okay.
lovely.
I
But
think
he's a
you're
great
right.
filmmaker.
What a lovely thing to put at him.
Yeah, but I mean, he can do anything. He's
He
done
really
Prisoners
does.
was amazing.
Prisoners was incredible.
Prisoners was.
Polytechnique, highly recommend.
I need to watch that.
It's
I'm not sure yet.
72 minutes. It's very short.
That's what we can rent you at the video store.
Yay! There we go.
Perrin will go grab it off
I've got the
shelf.
Blu-ray right here.
There we go.
I actually do.
And
have
that
the
is
Blu-ray.
the
amazing.
That is literally the point of this conversation.
That's
is
amazing.
to have you return something and then ideally give you something.
Yeah.
I would like to borrow it after you because I haven't seen it
Yeah, I
either.
really want to watch that.
It's great.
And
yeah.
I love it when people are just like, oh, yeah, I know his earlier work. Because not a lot of people, like, for
Yeah.
example, like artists like SZA,
Oh yeah.
like
yeah.
Ryan Coogler, they had earlier stuff,
Yeah.
which I remember listening to SZA before she was SZA.
Yeah.
And now if you say it, you just sound pretentious.
I think
like, have you
she's-
listened to her earlier
I'm going
albums?
to say a pretentious thing and say I think she's better than Beyonce. She's the better sister. She's the more creative, cooler sister.
Yeah,
my
she's so
Yeah.
adept in terms
Sorry,
of...
just help this white boy. Is she an actual sister?
Yeah,
of
no,
Beyonce?
SZA is
No.
Beyonce Noel's sister.
No. Solange is. SZA
That's-
is
I'm
Oh,
just
SZA,
a...
I'm thinking Solange. Never mind. I take that back. Solange is the cooler sister to Beyonce. Anyway, SZA.
No,
yeah.
SZA is... I don't know. She comes from... You can tell she listened to Alanis Morissette because she has a little bit of...
interesting.
She's got a little grungy. girl
Yeah,
in
she's got
her.
a little
Yeah,
bit
yeah.
of grungy, of like punk in there, but she
That's
blends
cool.
so many genres that aren't just R&B, which I really appreciate. And you can say the same thing with people like Ryan Coogler. Right?
Yes,
it's just
yeah,
not
Fruitvale
just
Station, yeah.
a Fruitvale Station, exactly.
Great movie. Yeah.
And I appreciate filmmakers that can do so many things. And going back to Denis Villeneuve and what he did in Dune, I think that's
Yeah.
sophisticated, man. Like who?
I'm-
no one makes films. Oh, Christopher Nolan,
Of course, yeah.
except
Yeah.
for that
They're very
confusing
similar.
one.
They've
Except for
Tenet
Tenet.
is
Everything except for Tenet.
Tenet is when I watched that movie, I watched it twice because the second
And
time
it came out in such a complicated time.
It's so loud.
It came out in COVID where we were all like,
So what you're doing with your hands, that's how I felt watching it.
So when I watched it the first time at the cinema, it was too loud. Like there's that scene with the yachting where David Washington is talking to Sutherland's character. No, what's his name?
Brenner.
Patterson, oh.
Yeah, with the Russian mobster that he is. There's like a yachting scene where you cannot hear shit. That movie is so badly mixed. The second time I watched it, I literally watched it with my fingers in my ears so I could hear the dialogue.
No way, really?
And I eventually was like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
It was a complicated movie.
It's a very
It
complicated
really was.
movie.
And that
It's overly
scene with the
complicated.
Swiss art vault
Yeah.
and the reverse of the reverse.
Were you
Yeah.
watching the scene in reverse?
So anytime you need to go to YouTube to get an explainer about what was happening,
Yeah.
I think is not a good sign.
Arrival, you don't need that.
I think it was a smart film, but I think we're not that smart, Nolan. Please
Yeah.
scale it back for us,
Yeah,
please.
you're giving us a little bit too much
No,
credit.
too much. Like
Because the interesting thing about that is that Nolan, people have said this about him as a critique. I don't think it's necessarily like a bad critique. Is that he makes smart movies for dumb people. You know what I mean? And like Inception, when people say it's confusing, I'm like, is it? It's
Yeah.
like you watch it the first time, as long as you pay attention, it makes sense. It's like Arrival makes sense when you get to the end because that circle's now complete.
exactly.
Right? And so good.
So I've got a confession. I've got another film that
Okay.
I would marry, which is Interstellar, and I can't even believe that I didn't mention it.
Really?
No,
Yeah.
no, listen.
So it's a tie between Arrival and Interstellar.
Listen, you can have more than one marriage in life.
Yeah, there we go. Divorced one,
I'm
married
on
the
my,
second.
I'm
There
on
we
my
go.
second.
There we go.
Yeah,
So Interstellar
lovely.
is.
But what's the third and fourth marriage? You know?
What's that
What's the
final-
side hustle? You know?
You'll never know until you until you see it, right?
Lovely.
No, Interstellar was quite something.
Yeah.
Magic.
No, joke, yeah.
Listen, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming. I think we can probably chat forever and ever, but
Definitely.
this was a real treat. And it's exciting to see that creation happen, that creation be so successful. I'd imagine there's more seasons coming.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Yay, hopefully.
Lovely. And of course, to see some kind of dystopian African
Yeah,
manga
I'm really
That's
excited
very
about
cool.
Artemis
Make it
Elixir.
Yeah.
in some shapes and forms. That's exciting, man.
Yeah, and honestly, the weird story about that is because of the whole thing that's happening with AI now, and because you can't necessarily copyright your likeness as an actor. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna make a comic that looks like me, so that can be copyrighted.
That's very
interesting. So
cool.
is she
And-
modeled in your
Yeah.
form?
That's
Exactly.
so cool.
So
that
then-
is the coolest
So
thing
now,
ever.
Perrin
my,
is geeking
so
out.
now,
Oh my
now my
God.
likeness is copyrighted in Artemis Elixir forever.
That is
So,
insane.
Yeah.
I love
is
that.
lovely. Okay, what a lovely note. Okay, so we're going to leave you with Denis Villeneuve's other film,
Polytechnique.
Polytechnique.
Yeah.
Let
It's
us
his
know
third
what you
film.
think. Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm gonna watch
Lovely.
that. I need to
Listen,
find it.
thank you for your time.
Thank you for
I
having
really
me. This
appreciate
was
this.
fun.
Cool.
Awesome.
And we'll see you soon.
Yay.
Yay.
Bye. All right. Like a chat,
Nice.
Nice.
like a person, like a stories to tell.
Very cool.
And I hope for those who know her or know of her,
Yeah.
you got a little bit more based on what movies she loved and what she's watching at the moment and what she would want to watch more of. And so we always hope that our interviews got that flavor that makes it a little different to others.
Yes.
All right. Should we play What
Oh,
Movie
yes.
Am I?
Let's do it.
Balls. I'm so bad at these.
You fine, man.
Yeah.
Okay. We are going to give out prompts. You can play it at home or play along in your car. And the moment you know what movie we are talking about, you have to shout out, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Fuck. Okay. I am a musical. Taika Waititi wrote my first draft.
Huh.
Oh, Captain,
some
my
of the-
Captain?
Yeah?
Is it the Wonka musical?
No. Okay. Okay. Then some of these are very obvious. So I've got to pick the least obvious. I am known for the song "How Far I'll Go."
Oh, Captain, my Captain, Moana.
Your
Ah, balls. Well done.
I didn't know Taika Waititi was involved in that.
gave it a first
Oh, that's
First
interesting. Wow.
because it's all Polynesian culture, and he is
Yeah.
he is a Polynesian man.
Well, One of my favorite things that he said was when he was doing Jojo Rabbit, which he plays Hitler,
Yes.
imaginary Hitler, is he said, "What better way to piss off Adolf Hitler than playing a Polynesian Jew as him?"
I don't know if you guys are going to get this one.
Okay.
You could always move on to a different movie.
Okay, this one you'll probably get. So
What
I
was
may as
it?
well do this. It's the movie Waiting to Exhale.
Oh shit! I haven't
I
seen
wouldn't
it.
have.
It's
no.
so it's obscure these days, at least. I am a romantic comedy. I have an A-list ensemble cast.
All right.
That
could
might
be-
give it away.
Oh, Captain, My Captain.
Yes.
Love Actually.
There you go.
There we go.
Jesus.
The moment you said love story, a romance,
Yes.
and ensemble, I was like, there we go.
Yeah.
It's definitely not New Year's Eve. Okay. Oh my god. The stars have given me this one.
Okay.
It's legitimately one of my favorite movies. Okay. I'm a cult film.
Mm.
Okay. You'll know this one if I say it, so I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
I'm fondly known as one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh, Captain, My Captain.
Yeah.
The Room.
Yep.
There you
The
go.
giveaway, so this is a fun story you told me. Audiences like to hurl plastic
Oh,
spoons at the screen.
Yes. Okay.
That's a great.
So whenever in the movie, the tradition is there's lots of scenes where there's framed pictures of cutlery in the movie.
for some
weird.
reason.
So people bring plastic spoons and cutlery and they throw it. And
Weird.
whenever they see it, they go spoons and they throw it at the screen. Russell, do you want to tell us about the one screening? you had?
Yeah. So when The Disaster Artist came out, which was
Ah.
a little bit of an Oscar darling in its
Yeah.
time, what, 5-6 years ago?
Oh yeah, it was a while ago now.
Which was about the making of this movie, The Room. We were screening The Room
Right.
because you kind of have to, and it's the
Yeah.
kind of movie that it's due for a rescreen. Cinemas like the Bioscope will famously screen this movie, The Room, which, if you don't know, is just this.
It's
they-
the perfect bad movie.
Yeah, it's the perfect bad movie because it was
so fucking
it
good.
it wasn't trying to be that.
Yeah.
It was actually trying to just be a normal movie.
It's very sincere.
It's very sincere, but it's just so delightfully shit, and it's just been taken by the world to
It's so
to
bad.
enjoy.
Right.
And yeah, there was a call once from Owen, our manager, that just said, "People are throwing spoons."
Why are they doing this, Russell?
And I was like,
why are they doing this?
"What?" And I quickly Googled it, and I was just like, "You could never have created that."
I'd love to know who the first person was who
He
brought a
was that
spoon to a screening.
nutcase. He was like,
Yeah.
you know what? Fuck this. Throws the spoon.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
honestly...
there are cinemas in LA. There's one in particular that I think does it every month.
yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, I think when you just are doing it for so long, it's a little bit like Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
It's just a game of broken telephone. The stuff just grows in
So-
time.
So
Right.
that movie, so it is genuinely, no jokes, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's like my comfort watch because it's one of the best reviews I read for it was an IMDb review. Someone said, if you took all the world's greatest filmmakers, the Scorseses, the Spielbergs, the Paul Thomas Andersons,
Yeah.
got them in the room and told them, make the most objectively bad movie you can think of, perfectly bad movie, and they said none of them would come close to what this is, because it is the most bizarre movie. Tommy Wiseau, who is the writer, director, and lead in it, he's
Yeah.
a very strange man. One of the most baffling things, if you're into any kind of filmmaking know-how and stuff, is that he shot it on 2 cameras, not for coverage, where you are shooting like a conversation, 1 camera on each person or whatever.
Yeah.
He shot every scene with an HD camera and a film camera. So that means 2
Okay.
different lighting setups.
Yes.
Because lighting reacts differently when you shoot it on film
Yeah.
or digital, right? So the version that we know of now is the HD, the digital version. We
Right.
don't know what the film version looks like. So I'm hoping one day we get a 4K UHD release of that.
Oh, so they never revealed.
They never revealed it. So the the film famously, they went through 4 cinematographers.
Jeez.
Each one, they were like, "What the fuck am I doing with this film?"
So yeah, one of the more bizarre parts is how this person exists in
Yeah.
the real world. He's
Yeah.
walking around right now, but we know so little about him.
Yeah.
Daywalker.
I mean, he was a public figure, and he
He's
even did
odd.
a whole bunch of press around Disaster Artist because Franco
Plays him, yeah.
plays him. But we still know so little about him.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
Franco's like, I don't know where he's from. I don't know where he got the money to make this movie.
Yeah,
The feeling
he's-
is like he sort of had some nefarious amount of money.
Yeah,
And do you know what? It could be a combination of like either it is so dodgy you have to keep it a secret,
Yeah.
or it's just not that interesting,
So-
and it could just be very uncool.
So did you read the book?
No,
I highly recommend the book, especially the audiobook. Greg Sestero, who wrote the book, he plays. Oh, hi, Mark. Yeah, he plays Mark in the movie,
yeah,
and who is the character who's sleeping with Tommy Wiseau's character's wife
Yeah.
or girlfriend, right? So he wrote the book, and it is a masterpiece.
and the book is about the making of,
It's one of the best documents of making a movie ever.
and
made.
that is also called The Disaster Artist.
Yeah,
And so
so-
that's why they made the movie about the book.
Yeah.
So I don't like the movie because the movie is like, I know we always talk about, oh, it's never as good as the book or whatever. This is genuinely one of those cases where the movie is nowhere close to being
Yeah.
as good as the book. Because the book, there's an entire chapter. The problem with the movie is that that they don't focus on their genuine friendship, that this bizarre friendship that the book talks about. The movie feels more like the butt of the joke every time. And they also leave out so much detail and situations that are far funnier than what we see on screen, where I'm like, why did they leave that out? Like,
Interesting,
payment that Greg Sestero, he only got offered the role of the character the night before because Tommy did not like the character, the actor that they cast for his character. So at this point, Greg Sestero was the line producer on the film. So he was helping with production and stuff like that. And then Tommy phoned him. He's like, because they went to acting class together. And he's like, I really want you to play this character. He's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, name anything. I'll name what you want. So he's like, I'd also like a car on top of the salary. And he's like, okay. And he got a brand new car and a fucking ridiculous salary. And
Weird.
one of the crazy things about Tommy Wiseau as well is there was a point in production where Greg Sestero, because he was a producer, had to go and get money for the day of, what they checks to draw, balance, whatever, right? Went to the bank and he was like, fuck, I hope he's got enough money. And the teller apparently was like, you're good. This is a bottomless pit of money. Like this guy's got so
Yeah.
much money. And the thing is, they also, all the establishment shots of San Francisco were all shot most of them were shot at the top of a warehouse that Tommy Wiseau owns that is just filled with clothing. And the Blu-ray, so I own
It
the
just gets
Blu-ray.
weirder and weirder.
Dude, so I own the Blu-ray. One more thing,
Of course you do.
And I've got the inside. There's a there's a postcard, like a lobby card thing in there. But it's an advert for his clothing line, and he has a clothing line for underpants, and it says Tommy Wiseau on the underpants, like
Like
Tommy
Calvin Klein.
Hilfiger.
yeah, it's fucking bizarre. Read the book; it is incredible.
And he's got some weird European accent, so it's like
yeah, it's very vague.
we don't even know where it's from. It
Yeah.
could be a complete character.
Yeah.
There's
He
sorry.
could be giving us the world's greatest sort of
Method acting.
experiential
He's
kind
so
of character.
strange. So like, yeah, it's so interesting because like,
But
yeah,
you just can't make that.
Yes.
And that's what's just so interesting. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
when
genius.
the first Barbenheimer rolled around, it's
Yes.
like you can't create that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just and a little bit like this kind of negative feedback to Chalamet. It's like he probably said a bunch of other offensive shit in
Yeah.
that thing, but the world cottoned onto that one line. That one line has grown far more than he ever thought it
Yeah.
would. It's sparked something.
it's
It's a little bit like, you've got this little ember in the field,
yeah.
which could just pff out,
Yeah.
or it starts a fucking huge felt fire, and you can't tame it, you can't create it, you can't harness it.
Yeah.
It's such a fascinating
It's-
world.
It's crazy. One last thing about it is famously the reason why it's cult based built as well. So the film came out in 2003, and there was a billboard on a very prominent street in LA
Yeah.
of The Room, and it was there up for like 15 years,
Jesus.
and people were like,
What
"What
is
the
this?"
fuck is this?"
Yeah.
And like eventually, like Seth Rogen found out about the movie through that billboard.
Okay.
And eventually he was like, we've got to find out what this is. That phone line that is on there was still working. I think it still does to this day. Like, it's just the most bizarre story. And there's a great chapter in the book where Greg Sestero hypothesizes where he's possibly from. And it's a
Right.
very touching chapter because it's either completely true or completely false.
Yeah, it's like
And
one or
that's
the other.
missing from the movie. That heart is missing from the movie.
Interesting.
Anyways, I could literally talk all day about this movie. I love it so much.
It's fascinating, and it is
Yeah.
it is just this one strange film in the whole.
It's so
and
weird.
just
Yeah.
so many get made.
Yeah.
So many movies get made, and just how some, get this following, and
Stand the
some
test
just
of
get
time.
completely
Yeah.
lost. A good example was I saw The Bride coming, and so let's just talk about that for a moment.
Yeah.
Everything about it really was exciting. Everything about it was very
Great concept.
promising.
Great concept.
You have Maggie Gyllenhaal, who you get the feeling she's just one of those like innately very cool people, where anything that they do will have, some sense of cool style to them. And so she's taken on this idea of the bride of Frankenstein, the world of Frankenstein. It seems to be set in this 1950s Chicago
20s, yeah.
20s gangster
Prohibition.
gangster era Chicago. You got Christian Bale, who plays the monster.
Yeah.
Everything about it was exciting, and so I'd even carved out some space for it. I still think I don't want to shit on it because I still think
Maybe we're missing something.
maybe
yeah.
we were missing something, but reports have somewhat confirmed it. I implore you to go and watch it, to
Yeah.
give it a chance. But unfortunately, when myself and Perrin were in the movie, we sort of left it a little disappointed.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a pity because it could be so much more. There's a layer to it that I think is unnecessary.
Oh, okay.
There's
Yeah.
a big overarching choice which I think they could have taken out,
Yeah, and it wouldn't have affected the
and it
film.
wouldn't have affected the movie at all.
Right.
We can maybe talk about those kinds of spoilers or that kind of stuff a little bit down the
Yeah.
line, but it's just interesting to see that assembly and almost from the beginning go, oh no,
Yeah.
fuck.
Because the thing is, like, with that decision, like we were saying, I'm not spoiling it, but the whole overarching message of the film is it's a feminist rally cry, right? So I was disappointed because so you watch a film like The Bride of Frankenstein, right? Which is a sequel to the 1931 film Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So The Bride of Frankenstein, I think, came out in like 35 or something. Anyways, so that's the film where the blind man in the cabin with Frankenstein, that's the one where that scene is from. The famous one. It's not from the original. A lot of people think it's from the original.
Yeah.
Anyways, Bride of Frankenstein, the namesake of the film, is about the bride, right? And the bride is this iconic monster character. She's got this crazy big hair that is influenced Marge Simpson and the
Yeah.
Simpsons. And she's this amazing feminist idea because in the film, right, so she's only in the film for 5 minutes right at the end of Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay.
She doesn't say any dialogue. She literally just hisses at people, but she's impactful when she's on screen. And the whole idea is that Frankenstein, and this leads into The Bride as well, is that Frankenstein is so desperate for companionship.
The monster.
The monster. He's so desperate for companionship. He goes to a doctor and begs them to make him a companion, a bride, so to speak,
Yeah.
right? So it's the same concept as Bride of Frankenstein, right? But now what disappointed me is where the Bride of Frankenstein, I feel like they didn't utilize the potential of what they could say with it. And those 5 minutes, I might add, are very impactful because it's such a cool feminist statement where this character is so desperately pathetic to get this companion, right, in The Bride of Frankenstein. He finally gets her, and the moment she wakes up, she's like, nah, not interested in you. She literally is like, no,
I'm not going to be your...
I don't want to do this. She, like I said, she hisses at people,
Yeah.
and everyone's like, "No, this is your companion." And he's like, "Shame." He's all like, "Oh, please," and she's all like, "No, I'm cool." And that's such a cool statement because,
That could have been a far more interesting
right? So
dynamic between Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale.
So the whole premise of The Bride, and I'm not spoiling anything, is that she's under the impression that they were to be married before. She doesn't remember before she's been revived, right?
Created,
Yeah, so he's kind of leading her on this lie that, oh no, we were a couple before. And the interesting thing about The Bride of Frankenstein is that this character has been created against her own free will. She died, and now she's been brought back against her own will. And as she comes back, she's been made to be this person's bride, but she still takes a stand and goes, "No, I'm good." You know what I mean?
And
that's a brilliant message.
Yeah, and
right?
to speak of that original Bride of Frankenstein, it's a little bit like, it's a nice little commentary on human trafficking,
Right,
And,
yeah.
and these kind of brides that
Yeah.
you know, wealthy or sort of people,
mail order brides.
yeah,
right?
the evil men of the world sort of take.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
And the thing is, like with that, it's like I equate it with the Bride of Frankenstein to Boba Fett in the original Star Wars trilogy, right? When we're growing up watching those movies, you see Boba Fett and you're like, that is a fucking cool character.
Yeah.
He's so iconic looking and all that. And when you finally
Get more of him.
he dies like an idiot, like
He
a
falls in a
buffoon.
hole.
Yeah, his jetpack doesn't work
Yeah.
properly, and he falls in the Sarlacc pit,
He's
and
a
he dies.
goose.
It's like, oh, he's lame. And then, like, over the years, they've had to, like, repair that cult icon status by,
Yeah.
like, making him cooler. And that's for me when I finally saw The Bride of Frankenstein. I was like, was that it? Like, is that what you did with her?
Right.
You know what I
You mean when you saw the bride?
Yeah, no, The Bride of Frankenstein. So because it's such an iconic character, you thought she had more of a prominent part in things.
Right.
But she didn't. So that's why when I watched The Bride, I was so looking forward to them actually fleshing out this really cool fucking idea of a character.
Yeah.
And to a point, they do that well.
Right.
But then I feel like my biggest problem with the film is I feel like Maggie Gyllenhaal just bit off more than she could chew. Like,
Yes.
I feel like with Jessie Buckley, as much as I love her and she's fucking incredible in Hamnet, I feel like she lost sight of reining her in
Yeah,
this.
she was given too much. There's a really good example, Graham, is like you watch certain scenes in this movie play out
Yeah.
that instead of it being effortlessly iconic, it feels like, shouldn't we do this to make it iconic?
Yeah, it tries
So
way
it's like,
too hard.
So it's like there's this really cool kind of ballroom scene that turns
my
into like a
God.
dance.
That-
And you're like, if I was just swept into this,
Yeah.
it would be rad.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a little bit like the coolness of creating a Oscar, Toni Morrison-y, Deep South
Yeah.
drama with two brothers returning home,
Right.
and then going, you know what? Fucking vampires, baby.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
That was effortless,
And
yeah.
it was so effortless where you're like, oh my God, there's
Yeah.
just fucking vampires now. Shit.
Yeah, that was
They
effortless,
just, it just
100%.
sweeps up and takes you over and goes,
Yeah.
for the next fucking hour, your ass is mine.
Yes.
You know, that sort of Robbie Williams big dick energy.
Yeah, 100%.
Where this was more like, we're going to make an iconic scene.
Yeah.
And so it didn't feel as cool,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
What's hard about that from like the filmmaker's perspective is obviously you don't get to decide how the audience feels about it.
Yeah, so when
Yeah.
it
You know.
feels like you're trying to tell me what is
Yeah.
a cool look and what's going to be iconic and what you're going to, where I should gasp and where I
Yeah.
should, you know.
Well, even then, it's like we are interpreting it as they were doing, even if they're not doing it deliberately, to be like, oh, we're going to create something iconic. It doesn't matter because that's the way it's now interpreted.
Yeah.
You know, it's entirely up to like once you put it out in the world, how the audience feels about it. Like for Sinners, we're like going, oh, that feels really like natural and it just happened effortlessly.
Yeah.
But like, we don't know like what their intentions were and that sort of
No,
thing,
of
and it
course.
doesn't matter. Because
Yeah.
once it arrives to the audience, it's like how your audience
Yeah.
feels
That's
about
what
it
that's what it
is
felt
just what
like.
it is.
But I mean, look, the benefit of The Bride, that's what's happening now. So it is shame, it is bombing at the box
Yeah.
office, which is a shame. But the thing is, it's already, my opinion on good, engaging art is that it's polarizing. This is already
Yeah.
polarizing. Critics are either loving it or shitting all over it.
Yeah.
And that's where I messaged you when the reviews. The interesting thing about like with that I've learned with Russell is with these exhibitor screenings is that you go and watch the movie, and because you watch it so long before everyone else sees it, you have no idea what the world thinks, or if you're stupid or you're missing something.
Yeah.
And I was right about Wuthering Heights, and I'm right about this. You know, so well,
I know what you mean. No, but the one thing I then raised with Perrin is like there are times when the critics hate a movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then when it's given to the audience goes, you know what, we love it.
Yeah.
And I was like, when are those cases? What were those cases? And
Yeah.
why did that
Or vice versa.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
vice versa.
Yeah,
Fight
critics love
Club,
something.
critically acclaimed, bombed at the box office.
Sure.
Shawshank Redemption, critically acclaimed, no one had heard of it.
Yeah.
Bombed, but then later became very
Through
celebrated.
VHS,
so you can argue there that timing was maybe odd or new, interesting, bold idea, but in the long tail, those movies did fine.
Yeah,
So I don't think that's a problem. Those are considered some of the greatest films of all time.
100%.
But when was it? When were those cases when the critics slammed it and then the audience said, you know what, we want this?
Yeah.
I feel like I know with like the early resurgence of the 70s, class of the 70s, like the Scorseses, the Spielbergs, all those guys, with Easy Rider. So that marked the end of the golden age of Hollywood, because golden age of Hollywood was from like the 30s to 1969. And you watch Easy Rider, it is a very subversive, psychedelic, weird fucking road trip movie. And as far as I know, that was a film that was kind of trashed by critics because they just didn't get it. And audiences were connecting with it because that was the summer of love. You know, it was a revolution of ideals at that point, right? And that movie came out in 1969, and that started a whole new wave of fucking filmmakers. So, like, I think that was one of those films that critics hated, but audiences loved, and obviously critics eventually were like, okay. But then there's been films where critics and audiences hated, but then later on, people are starting to like think, okay,
No, but it was just one of those moments. And of course, I'm a little bit lucky in the sense that if a little fire breaks out and people are excited about this thing, I'll just take it. I'll take it in week 2 or 3. So I would want to see it work. So yeah, it was just interesting that we sort of saw this thing coming out. I backtracked, and I was just like, I hope I'm right.
Yeah.
yeah.
People hated Citizen Kane when it came out.
There you go, because it was so different.
Orson Welles was booed at the Oscars.
Yeah, you see, and Tarantino was booed at Cannes when he won Pulp Fiction Palme d'Or.
Interesting, hey.
It's interesting because like you often see those films that are changing the dynamic of how we view cinema or how things are made.
If it's a shift changer, I can see that.
Yeah, Citizen Kane, great example. Yeah.
Last little thing is let's just quickly gloss through next week's Oscars and give our picks. I think we can all agree Jessie Buckley is a firm
She's
favorite.
The only lock,
She's the only lock in. Something we were debating earlier now is Chalamet, and if anything, it could be Michael B. Jordan that takes it for Sinners over Marty Supreme. Where are we with? Let's just start with Best Picture.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So
where are we with that? Where do we think that'll go?
Okay. So I'm going to be the statistician. Yeah. Okay. So leading up to the Oscars, there's certain awards that are a big play in what is going to win. The one thing that you should never take too seriously is anonymous voter ballots that you'll see Variety and all these publications release. Sure. Because often it's very bitter people who talk about
and
those.
You've spoken about that.
Yeah, so, and they often don't reflect previous winners. Anyways,
right.
So with Best Picture, right? So let's look at the race, right? So PGA, which is the Producers Guild, which is a big say in who wins Best Picture. Only 8 times, I think, in the past, like, X amount of years, like a long time, has the PGA winner not gone on to win. The last time that happened with the PGA winner, which was 1917, and Parasite won the SAG for Ensemble, it didn't win the PGA, but it won Best Picture at the Oscars. The SAG is the Ensemble award that's essentially Best Picture, right? So the Actors Guild is the biggest voting body at the Oscars.
Yeah, there's more actors than there are anything else.
Yeah, right. So that is a very big say in what wins. But you often see the Screen Actors Guild, the ensemble cast winner hasn't really been a big say in
who was that this year?
Last year was last year Conclave won that, but Anora won Best Picture, and that won the PGA, right?
Right.
So this year, One Battle won the PGA, it won the Critics' Choice Award, it won Golden Globe, and it won the BAFTA, right? This year, the ensemble went to Sinners.
Okay.
And now the reason why I think it might be Sinners' year for Best Picture is because of the Parasite thing. Okay. So Parasite was a cultural phenomenon, right? Because it was a Korean speaking film, and it fucking exploded. Everyone was talking about it.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it.
Which Sinners was. Sinners
is a
more,
cultural
It was more
smash.
popular than One Battle After Another.
100%. It's a cultural phenomenon. It's people are listening to the music routinely. It's
The
fucking
only thing
film.
that's working against it is that it was around this time last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just older in everyone's minds, but it was a far more popular thing at the
Popular.
time. So
Yeah.
so you think best film could be Sinners?
So I think because it's
I would
gonna
love
be,
it to be.
So I would not hate it if Sinners wins. I prefer
Yeah.
One Battle, but I would hate it if PTA doesn't get a directing.
Okay,
win.
you would want him to get.
At least, yeah.
director.
I think Sinners, if anything, look, the odds are in favor that One Battle will win because of the PGA and Critics' Choice and all that.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be by a knife edge. I saw someone argue that, like, what if they give a
Shared.
draw? Because that's never happened, and that would be interesting. I think it may have happened once, but like that would be interesting. Like Best Actress has been shared between two actors once. That was Barbara Streisand and I can't remember who else, but I think it might have been I can't
No,
remember.
it doesn't matter.
But yeah, so that'll be interesting. So Best Picture, I think Sinners will get it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. What I would love is the most nominated film of all time to walk away with a lot
Yeah,
because
it's only fair.
if you get all those nominations and you don't get a lot of awards,
Yeah.
then it feels like you're acknowledging the diversity
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that there's this black filmmaker and it's a black story.
But it's a good
like
film.
We're allowing it, but we're not giving it its dues.
Right.
And
Because-
so like, it's
Yeah,
like we're putting it in the room, but we're not letting it sit on a chair. It's like,
yeah.
come on.
That kind of
come
thing
on.
has happened though, where movies have gotten tons of nominations and
Sure.
won.
Color Purple was at one point the biggest loser in Oscar history.
And the sentiment feels like it could be that with,
Sinners, yeah.
black folk in the film industry.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm allowing you to do this, but I don't want to give you your actual props.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, it's the award version of going, some of my best friends are black.
Yeah.
It's like, you
Yeah,
don't say that.
100%, yeah.
You just
Right.
have black friends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't have to say it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
You
'cause-
just award them. Like, if
Yeah.
he deserves it, there must be winners. There hasn't been a fully brown person winning Best Director yet.
Yeah.
The closest we've got is Asian,
Yeah.
Yeah.
female, and a dude.
Yeah.
It's like, there's not been a black dude or a black woman that has won
Unpopular
Yeah.
in
opinion.
almost 100 years.
Unpopular opinion, Barry Jenkins for Moonlight, for me, should have won Best Director.
Sure.
Yeah.
Damien Chazelle won for La La Land.
But
so
when
yeah,
you
people
speak
like
of systemic,
Yeah.
when you hear that word and you hear the
Yeah.
liberals talk about systemic racism,
Yeah.
that's a great fucking example.
Because also,
Is that in the system,
yeah,
it hasn't allowed for that.
Yeah.
but also the worst race-driven films, the ones that pandered,
Yeah.
have been the winners.
Yes.
So that's why people are like pissed off. Like one of my favorite quotes. So famously, "Do the Right Thing," which is Spike Lee's second
Yeah.
first masterpiece. Malcolm X is his best film.
Yeah.
Anyways. So he lost that film wasn't nominated for like anything, and Driving Miss Daisy famously won all the awards that year, and that's a film about a black man driving a woman around, right?
A white woman, yeah.
And it's Green Book was compared to that, and that was the same year where Spike Lee finally won his Oscar for Black Klansman for screenplay.
Yeah.
And when Green Book won, because he was a big fan, even though he was nominated for Best Picture, Spike Lee was a big fan of Roma, and Roma should have won Best Picture. And when Green Book won, like, Spike Lee lost his fucking mind. He was like, then afterwards, and they were talking to people, he's like, every time a black man is in a car, I lose an Oscar. He was so upset about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's that. And then Best Director. So I think Paul Thomas Anderson will win.
It'd be nice to give him one. It's a pity that
It's between
that
him and
both
Ryan
two
Coogler.
very deserving dudes. As
Yeah.
much as I'm advocating for a black director,
Yeah,
you've also got a guy who is deserving of one.
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Like-
really is for a film that is deserving.
Yeah.
It's not a.
Even if Ryan Coogler doesn't win this year, he will win an Oscar.
You'll win screenplay.
He's still got a lot
Same
of
thing with
100%.
Michael B. Jordan. Even if he doesn't win this year, he will win at some point.
Yeah, I think so. Like I think so PTA, his what's in favor is that he's won all the awards leading up to it for directing.
Yeah.
So like he's pretty much a lock at this point. It'll be The only time also that happened was Parasite, Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
Sam Mendes won everything leading up to it, and he didn't win on the final night. But Paul Thomas Anderson has been owed his flowers for a very long time. He's been nominated like I think 11 or 12 times, and
Jeez,
finally,
Yeah, he deserves it.
yeah, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Especially for this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Magic.
We'll find out next week.
We'll find out. Tune in next week
Yeah.
where Perrin will have watched it live
Yeah.
and will come in tired.
Straight from watching.
And
yeah.
we'll have ourselves our annual Oscar episode.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Cool.
We've got our home base at thevideostore.co.za.
Yeah.
Chime in. Give us your entries into that Project Hail Mary competition over on Instagram. And we'll see you again next week.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Lekker.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.